baby. Don't use icy hot toilet paper. Liquid Tasia is our new player in for Liquid. He is the green Terran down in the bottom right of Kdaria. And way over here on the bottom left spawn, we have MVP Tails, who just took out some great players, Hero and Rhett.
That's right. So, just bad imagery in my head. Anyway, Tasia guy's pretty good. He's been winning a lot of stuff lately. Tails, he's also pretty good. He's won a couple of games in a row now. He's actually put Liquid just one game away from losing the set. So Tasia has to come back in, not just win this game, but win a couple more in a row. However, if there's any player out there that you're thinking to yourself, I don't know, Liquid's in not such a good situation. If you could bring in any player in the world to have them win a few games in a Team League situation, who would it be? I would think that this would be your #1 choice.
Yep, Tasia obviously broke the record for number of games won in a TAC season.
Yeah.
I think it was 22 games by the end of it. Might have even been
more. With the TAC 3 finals, I believe it was 26 or 27.
26 or 27. Yeah. So tons and tons of wins for Tasia. I mean, obviously there's some other really good Team League players. Sniper is actually one that. Isn't Sniper on MVP?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sniper is one that could actually still show up in this match that is just really good in Team Leagues, and he is basically a sniper. So
yes.
He's a guy to look out for if Tasia is successful here.
Well, and we haven't even started to mention the Code S players that sit around for, for MVP as well. I mean, and Monster as well. He's a guy who's done really well in Team Leagues for them as Tasia decides to go for Command Center first. But, I mean, you still have the top-end guys like Dongrigu that are sitting around there, too. Keen. So.
Yep. He's always a joy to watch. And Monster, like you mentioned, he's shown up from time to time to do some damage. You're humming a lot, which makes me think gateways.
I'm humming. It's actually not. Someone in the live report thread suggested that Tasia just go for a blind 3-base 12-gate counter because of what we said last time.
Which is what exactly?
Not going to be that for now. Yeah, I don't really know.
What is a blind 3-base 12-gate counter?
I believe it's the old 7-minute stim push, or 7.5-minute stim push, clearly.
Yeah.
2 barracks coming up for Tasia, but no, it was double gas before cybernetics core for Tails, and he is only have 2 on each of the gas, but it's still kind of a weird way to go about things. Usually, this is a field dominated by 1 gate expands off of just 1 gas and a stalker, maybe. Depending on what you see out of your opponent.
I'm curious how a Reaper build would do against 12-gate 3-base. Kdaria, actually, I'm just curious how Reapers would do on Kdaria. I mean, we have added Whirlwind and Kdaria to the pool. Haven't seen any Reaper attempts even on these maps. So, you know, when a new map enters the pool, you'd think you would exhaust all your options, figure out what could actually be really really good for a specific map, and this one has a lot of ledges, a lot of space for Reapers to actually hop up and down and stuff like that. So, I'd like to see it for once from someone. Definitely, I mean, not Tasia here. Obviously, he's got his fast expand going on. I'll let him do his thing. Maybe in Contender Division, we'll get someone to do some Reaper builds.
Well, he gets a great look at his opponent. He sees the robotics facility, and he sees that the double gas are up as well. And this is a pretty good time for him to actually be on the other side of the base because the Stalker is going to take the longest possible time to make it there. But he still catches up before he sees the other 2 gateways. So a 3-gate robo for Tails? Is this like early 2010? This is
and a Warp Prism. So
such a wacky build. A 3-gate drop at the beginning here.
We've seen that a couple of times at least. I mean,
who doesn't? Or I guess he just doesn't want to play a long game at all.
Tasia just building mass Marines too, though, so he's not really. I mean, he's not really looking for much of a macro game either. He just wants that early mineral boost so he can get tons of barracks up and running at this point. But after getting that great scout through Tails' base, Tasia could be pretty well equipped for this. You can see he's got a handful of Marines waiting in a sort of central area there in his base in case Warp Prism were to approach. So I like that. He doesn't actually need them on the low ground right now. He can do, some scouting with SCVs or a single Marine. Yep, there he goes. Actually just splitting off, keeping as much vision in his own base as he can.
All right, Tails going to go around the side here, and so far he hasn't picked up on Tasia. There we go. Tasia sees it now, and he's starting to make his way back with his Marines right away, but of course no upgrades are anywhere near to being finished, and Tasia's going to have to defend here. He actually forces the cancel on the Warp Prism. Can he pick it off? He does!
Oh my god, that was flawless.
Well, that's, I don't want to be Negative Nancy here, but Tasia may well have just won him the game with that. And this isn't the kind of like the guy who's like, oh yeah, well clearly the game's over. Tails put a lot into that, guys. That was 200 resources for a warp prism after the robotics facility was done, and he's going 5 gate off of 1 base now. He has an all-in left in him, and that is all.
What happened with the cancel? I was watching the warp prism. It didn't look like it was taking any damage. He dropped his payload and started flipping over, warping in several zealots. I'm really curious why he didn't let that finish. I mean, the warp prism obviously could have been picked off because it was, but that just seemed like a really quick either misclick or strange hesitation from Tails, and he is going to be in trouble if these Marines catch this Immortal off guard.
Okay, well, 5 gates coming up, but Tasia's already sitting on 3 barracks now. He's got upgrades almost finished. He's going up to a starport. Yeah, I mean, he's got 2 bases. So Tails wants to try and make something happen here, but it's Tasia.
Yeah, Tasia can basically just lead him back to his base. He knows he's probably going to be attacking in again. He hasn't scouted over there, so I mean, or he hasn't scouted since the beginning, but he doesn't know if Tails has thrown up a Nexus. He just kind of has to assume that he hasn't, and he's going to play it safe, keep all his forces as one cohesive unit, and let Tails try to drive the action here.
All right, well, that's a pretty good amount of forces up at the front. Stim's only 20 seconds away from finishing as well, so Tails is going to make a big warp in here in a second. He's got the resources to use all 5 gates here momentarily. There's 5 zealots. It's actually a lot of zealots. It's a lot of DPS if you can get the right sort of engagement. But Tasia's already sitting at the top. Here comes Tails, and we'll see here what he can do. Look at that, Stim actually finishing up at just the right time, and Tails
no force fields.
Going through a few SCVs here as a buffer, but most of the zealots are already dead.
Yeah, no force fields there during that encounter. It kind of has me scratch my head a little bit. He has lots of energy. I thought that would be an ideal time to try and, segment those forces, at least trap a few. But at this point, yeah, there we go. That's what I was looking for the first time, and I'm not sure why he didn't. He lost a lot of units as a result. I mean, if he still had those zealots there to press in to the units that got segmented off, they'd be able to cleave right through them. And now we have medevacs.
Yep.
So Tasia is just, again, bolstering this force that already is looking very, very strong.
All right, so now that these forces are going totally back up to full, Tails is going to try one more time, and Tasia already wants to meet him. He actually stims right up at the front. He's going to try and pick off the Herd Immortal force. He actually saves a couple of his units, brings them all back home, continues to heal everything up with the medevacs, and he's got pretty fair health on his units. He's got more medevacs that have been added, and his position just keeps getting stronger and stronger.
Yep, so Tails is obviously going to keep committing to this. He has no other option at this point, so he's going to come on in. His Immortals are still standing, so if he can do a good job protecting those, he will get through some of these forces. Nope, first Immortal goes down, second one getting focused. Nice micro by Tasia, keeping all of his forces alive. Just picks up on the other side of the force fields. He knows that Tails won't be able to pursue him through there, so really good stuff from Tasia. Another encounter as he tries to move up. The Immortal is still standing, picking off some units, but now he's by himself. There's the GG from Tails.
Well, that was a sloppy game, and Tails is down. Tasia defends perfectly, and we've seen this time and time again. Tasia